One-off experimental locomotives come and go, as is their nature as experiments. Many are often remembered in railway circles for their unique design and questionable performance, some more so than others. But there is one engine that, by all rights, should have been lost to obscurity decades ago, which has managed to stay in the limelight in an unconventional way. Built in 1902, No. 101 was an experimental tank engine designed by George Jackson Churchward for the Great Western Railway. On the surface, it was just another unremarkable 040 side tank engine with outside cylinders and joy valve gear, but on the inside it featured a unique brick arch firebox and burned oil instead of coal, using oil firing equipment designed by William Holden. Water was stored in the side tanks as normal, while the fuel oil was stored in a saddle tank on top of the boiler. Originally, the locomotive was intended for use as a passenger engine on the Rington Vale Light Railway in North Somerset, but technical issues with the design led it to being rebuilt a month later before it even left Swindon Works. It had its firebox and oil burners modified, but when this didn't improve its performance, it was given a minor overhaul in 1903, being fitted with a Lentz boiler and having its saddle tank removed. Still proving to be difficult, the engine eventually had its oil-burning equipment removed and was converted into a coal burner in 1905. With its constant technical problems, the GWR simply kept the locomotive at Swindon, using it as a shunting and occasional pilot engine. 101 never got the chance to work on a mainline railway, and was eventually scrapped in 1911. For any other engine, that would be that. Just another short-lived, dodgy experiment condemned to be no more than a footnote in some railway journal. And for 67 years, it was just that. But then, one day, something happened that gave this unique little engine a second lease on life. In 1978, Hornby decided to start producing cheap 00 gauge models of the Class 101 as the engine that would come with their starter train sets. Why they chose the Class 101 specifically, I'm unsure, but as a starter engine, it makes sense. Not only is it an 040 design, making it small and simple to manufacture, but historically the design was intended to pull passenger trains and occasional goods, so the model can be paired with most kinds of rolling stock and not look out of place. It's also likely that having big, square side tanks also appeals from a manufacturing point of view, as you've essentially got a nice, large flat surface to print decals onto, be it the logo for the Great Western Railway or one of the many custom liveries Hornby has since printed onto the engine. The engine also happens to look quite nice in a lot of these custom liveries too, but whether this was a reason they picked the 101 or just happy coincidence is beyond me. I'd like to clarify that this is speculation on my behalf. I'm not really sure why Hornby chose the Class 101 as their default starter engine, it's just an educated guess. Regardless of why, intentional or not, Hornby brought a significant amount of attention back to the 101, possibly much more than it ever had while in service. All of a sudden, this random, one-off experiment that barely worked properly became a household name and icon for countless enthusiasts. People naturally wanted to know more about the engine and looked into it, learning of 101's story and sharing it with others. Whether or not you think it's a tragedy that a unique, one-of-a-kind engine like the 101 was scrapped, the fact that an engine which was considered a failure and hardly known to the public is now not only still known and talked about, but revered by many as the first model engine they ever got is pretty miraculous. It's fair to say few other engines are remembered in this way. Just goes to remind us that, no matter how much we succeed or fail, we're still capable of being remembered fondly when we're gone. Subscribe for more.